Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, I'm back. I'm actually trying to see whether anyone is on doing it this way. Back in my room, sweating like mad. So hopefully my aircon is on. Is anyone around? Can you let me know? Is this live? Is it not? I'm trying to do it in a different way. So are you there? Are you not? Is anyone logged on? I can't see. Maybe I need to look at my phone and see whether. Hello. Oh, somehow it is working. Seems to be working now. Okay, so I've managed to work out a different way of actually doing it. Maybe my voice is a little bit echoey on here, but let me just see if it comes up on my phone. And see whether it's actually streaming live to my phone. It seems that it is, which is good news. I'll turn the volume down. So that's good news. It seems to be working. Right, okay. So let me just put that up there. See if anybody else comes on, because obviously I was streaming before live and it went off. So it had gone off and twice. I was trying to get sort of Wi-Fi and things like that going on. But anyway, I'd come up to my room, just played around with a few bits of software and just thought, well, I'll just give it a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and that's perfectly fine. But if it does work and the stream stays as it is, then we can continue with the chat. So what I'll do is I'll give it sort of like 5 minutes or a few minutes and just see. There's only sort of looks like Wame. How are you? There's commenting so far saying that it's actually working. Just get it up on my phone here just to see is there anybody else? Because it'd be interesting to know whether this actually works. Because if it does work, then I've got another potential option as long as the Wi-Fi in Myanmar holds out. So if anyone is on, please can you comment? And this is really just a test video just to see, is this particularly working? So if it is working, it's not ideal because the quality isn't fantastic, but I just wanted to test and see whether it is actually working or it isn't working. So anyone else on? Maybe they've switched and gone off and thought that I'm never going to come back again or back to the UK. But let's just give it a go and see, and then we can talk about the things that I wanted to talk about earlier when the stream went down. Just trying to find what it was I was originally going to talk about. Just get my money out of my pocket. So anyone on? No? Maybe. If not, then at least I know somebody has commented to say that it's live. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, what I might do is I might just tell you what I might talk about if more people come on, because this is obviously at the end of 2 live vlogs that I've already done already. And it's late here as it is now. So I was going to talk about, well, I was originally, when the stream went off, I was talking about the Mbappe deal for £180 million and £820,000 a week. I was going to quickly talk about the Armada stuff. The Ray Parlour talking about the City squad and how we've done over the last sort of few seasons versus the Arsenal Invincibles squad. I was then going to talk about Kitchie and the fact that Phil Foden is back in the team, which is good news. Or at least he's training. Whether he'll be included tomorrow, the game kicks off at 1 o'clock GMT in the UK. So hope people will be around. Chances are a lot of people are going to be at work, so we'll miss it. Thankfully, with the time difference here, it'll be 6:30 in the evening. So I'll get to watch the game, and I'll be doing more vlogs before the game, half-time, and after the game as well. Also, the fact of Leroy Sané and the fact that City look like they're absolutely not interested in selling him. So I think they've almost come to the point of where they've made a stance on this whole thing and basically said he's not for sale, and that's it. The Danny Mills versus Gareth Bale debate that he was all over TalkSport and social media, trying to compare his £80,000 a week contract at Manchester City and how he was trying to compare that to the £1 million a week he was going to get at, or Gareth Bale is going to get in China potentially. So, and finally, I was going to talk about Raheem Sterling and how when he plays FIFA, which is, if you don't know, we have Man City Fan TV FIFA, which is run by Kiam MCFC on Twitter, and we do regular videos whereby he plays a 2019 season with a 2019 team, but when the new launch of FIFA 20 goes out, he's going to be starting that campaign again and interacting with a load of people who have asked can they join in and do online gaming with him. So anyway, is there anybody else on? If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish it there and say that is what I was going to talk about. But if there's only a few people on, then what I'll do is I'll call it a day. I did do 2 videos earlier, which loads of people got involved with. So I want to say a massive thank you to those who got involved with it. I do apologize. There's nothing I can do about the Wi-Fi in places like Myanmar. It's just, I'm beholden to what the Wi-Fi and the bandwidth and everything else is here. Last night I had a really good run, even though it took 2 or 3 attempts. Tonight I've had a couple of runs that were decent, but the final one, it went and people couldn't actually get on the live stream again. It was buffering from their end. So anyway, hello Andy, it's hotter than a roasty here. Okay, so we got Paul on. Maybe we've got a few people on who might want to quickly talk about those things I was talking about earlier, but I'll wait and see. If not, it's it's one of those. Another channel can potentially talk about those and take it as their own. But anyway, if you want to come on, just let me know below. Post a comment if you're there, and I'll talk about it. If not, then I'll just go. Oh, Rubito Blondie's on. Afternoon all. Andy, you never give up, mate. You're one stubborn bugger. Fair play to you. No, mate, it's about the fans. That's what the channel is all about. It's for the fans. That's the point, innit? Go chill out, man. Laters. No problem, mate. I'm happy to talk about it. I've got it's 11:05 in the evening. I'm still on UK time, so for me it's like sort of early evening. So the chances are, if I went to bed now, I'm not going to sleep anyway. I'm just going to sit there and mull over things in my mind. So yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. I don't mind it. I'm just disappointed I couldn't finish the vlog and the discussion that we were doing earlier, which was quite interesting with some of the replies back about Mbappe and the deal and the salary and whether it's would you take Messi or would you take Mbappe for that type of money and for the amount of length and time in the contract. So yeah, we'll wait and see. I'll give it another few minutes. We'll see what happens. I'll make myself a drink. Deserve one now after today, now that I'm finished. So let me just pour myself a drink. Just get myself out the mini bar. I'll get myself a mixer. I think after today, I definitely deserve one. So anyway, at least it's nice and cool in here. Anybody else on? We'll see. If not, I'll give it another minute and then I'm going to call it a day, if I'm being honest. Delph press conference today and said he only ever gives 100% Every game I'm happy is here. I think it's a great. I think it's. God, Paul, are you a Villa fan? Everton fan, sorry. I'm sure you are, aren't you? If you are, then I think it's a brilliant signing. Absolutely brilliant signing for you guys. As I said, it's just a shame last season that he ended up with those injuries, because the season before he was exceptional. Absolutely brilliant for City. I think some City fans forget just how good he was the season before, and just take everything on what happened last. I think it's a brilliant signing for you, and the money that you got him for, I think it's an absolute bargain. This one journalist's opinion of our City and China tour is really pissing me off. He has to be a rag fan, and all these outlets saying it was a general feeling amongst the Chinese fans. Everton, Paul. Quite interesting. Obviously, Simon Mullock. I've had a couple of things on Twitter with Simon Mullock. Not arguments, just basically asking him about some of the stuff he's wrote on City. He claims that he's completely unbiased, completely. He's a Northwest correspondent. He's a Manchester guy, or Manchester local guy. He covers all the clubs in the Northwest. But I found that, like I said last night, his article on the Chinese reporting, I found it a bit weird, because he posted, like journalists do these days. Journalists post these little sort of video clips now, similar to what we're doing. And they, instead of just writing on stuff, now they post these little, vlogs. And it's like a 30-second vlog that talks about what the Mirror is writing about, and go and check it out. And it's a way of enticing people to go and look into it. Well, I looked into the article, I think first thing this morning. And it was like, where's the evidence of all of this media speculation? It was very much a comment by him that allegedly the Chinese media, run by the government, are not happy with Manchester City. And, where's that evidence? I don't get it. And actually, today, I posted something on there showing a massive big event in China, where there were thousands upon thousands of Chinese, whoever, City fans in this shopping centre. And it was retweeted by the Shanghai Citizens Club, and they said that event went on for hours upon hours upon hours with Man City players there, hours, and that's from the Shanghai Citizens. So you start to think, who's telling the truth here? Is this a bit of a media spin? Somebody mentioned last night, I think it was Carl who came on last night when we were talking on the live vlog, and said basically that there's a bit of a spat between the UAE and China. Is that the reason why? And things like that. And so it starts making you think, is there something else more sinister in this? Because certainly listening to the Shanghai Citizens, they said that the event was packed and City players were there for hours upon hours, doing obviously interviews and signatures and signings and selfies and you name it. And we saw the images yesterday of Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and Alexander Zinchenko were doing all of these events. So you start thinking, is this again, is it the journalist trying to sort of put another spin on things? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I've not been following it that closely. But when it comes from somebody who was there saying that event went on for hours upon hours, you start thinking, there's something not quite true in the reporting by the Mirror or whoever, whichever journalist. What else we got? You've got a top pro in Delft, mate, and he is as good as it gets for influencing the dressing room. Paul Smith said he said how good he was, and I like his bravado. He's a proper leader. You only have to watch the documentary from last season, the Amazon documentary, and he's not afraid to speak up. So you've got maybe a Gareth Barry style replacement with Fabian Delph. The thing is, mate, that it was one article by one journal that's been reported here as if it's general consensus. Well, not according, Roberto Blondie, not according to, certainly not according to the Shanghai citizens who were there and said it went on and on and on. I mean, I've got the tweet here. Let me just see if I can bring it up, and I'll happily show you. And there were a couple of tweets. There's one of them. I'll show you one of them now. And that's from Shanghai citizens. And it says, if you can see it, I don't know whether you can see it there. I know it's a bit blurry. But it basically says, that went on till it was dark. That's the Shenzhen Blues. Shenzhen, sorry, not the Shanghai. Shenzhen official supporters club, not Shanghai. So they were saying that it went on until it was dark. So, and there was another tweet on top of that. So there you go. Cheers, Blonde. James Davies, where's Yangon? Yangon is what used to be called Burma. It's now called Myanmar. So where, Burma, the British forces were here in World War II. So yeah, it's Burma, mate. Surrounded by lots of different countries. Beautiful, lovely people, absolutely amazing people. Roberto Blondie, Paul Smith, don't know if you have seen the Amazon City video, but there was a segment showing Delph ripping out the team for not doing the basics. I mean, all the team, yeah, he was, absolutely. He was giving them a right load of grief. Myanmar, formerly Burma, yeah, absolutely. Cheers, Blondie. Andy, what do you think of the stadium change? In what regards do you mean, James Davis? Stadium change? No, Blondie, but it will look into that. Cheers. Any news on those Spitfires? No, I haven't had a chance today because I was full on. I was absolutely full on. I've been in the training room. I've been in the simulator today. I was back in the training room. I was doing loads of stuff today. So I didn't have a chance to ask. And the person who was here last time, who was telling me all about it, he isn't here on the course. So I haven't, but I'll ask tomorrow. I'll make a note and I'll see if anybody else knows whether that happened or what the outcome was. Hi Andy, any news on Maguire and Gustavo? No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I think by the rumours from yesterday that I was talking about in the live vlog, I think Pep's looking at it and going, do we really, if Otamendi stays, do we really need another centre-back? We've got the likes of Harwood Bellis we can promote into the team. He's done nothing wrong in the pre-season game so far. So, yes, Andy, what do you think of away day tickets? That is opening up a massive can of worms. I listened to, I went for dinner before and it came up on my timeline. It was Ian Cheeseman's vlog that he does for Forever Blue. Go over if you're not a follower. Go over and follow Ian Cheeseman. Really, really old school sort of City fan. Does some great stuff. And I was listening to his podcast, or it was, I don't think I listened to all of it, but on there he had the guy who's the representative for the 18 to 25-year-olds talking about the City Matters group and things like that. And I have seen some posts on Twitter over the last 24 hours attacking Colin Savage, Presswich Blue on Twitter, who also sits on the City Matters group, which I think is a little unfair. But it seems that there is a section of City fans that are not happy. They're not happy about this whole scheme, about this whole, collecting tickets from away grounds to prove who you are. That doesn't mean to say that you've not already got a ticket from somebody else and you couldn't sell it on anyway as soon as you get the ticket. It just seems like a little bit of an inconvenience for fans to have to prepare their day around some sort of ballot that gives a section of the away fan tickets, people having to go to the stadium to actually collect their ticket. I'm not sure that's the solution. I'm not sure what the solution is, and I think that's what the likes of the 18 to 25-year-old rep for Man City Matters and Colin Savage on Twitter was trying to say. It's like trying to please everybody and please nobody. It's a difficult one, because I think if you speak to fans in general, there are the exceptions. There are obviously the people that have in the past made a lot of money out of passing on tickets. There are supporter clubs and things like that potentially. And I honestly don't know whether I couldn't name anybody. I'll be honest about it. Where they feel that tickets have been given to people that don't necessarily have the points to go to away games when other people have going to away games. So I can see the arguments for both sides, and I don't think you'll please anybody. And I'm trying to be really diplomatic with that answer, because it's not the fact that I don't want to piss one section off and happy with the other. I don't know what the solution is. I really don't. There's talk of ballots and all sorts of things. I don't know what the solution is when it comes to season tickets in general, the Tunnel Club, and everything else that it goes to. But all I can say is that there are a lot of people that were very unhappy before this change, and there are still people very unhappy with the change, which means that there are going to be people that are going to be happy about the change, but it's still going to upset other people. So I'll be honest with you, I really, without going into too much detail about it, I really don't think the City Matters group in general can win, because they seem to be the only, that's what they're there for, let's face it, they're there to answer questions from the fan base. I don't think they can win, because they're in dialogue with the club. The club, if you listen to Ian Cheeseman's vlog, the club are saying, well, yes, we can do that, or no, we can't do that for whatever reason. So they've come up with a suggestion. It's been approved by the club. I think it's going to have to be a suck it and see how it goes this season. It might not be as bad as people think it's going to be, or it could be 10 times worse. So I think until the season kicks in, people actually are the ones that have been voted to go and collect their season tickets for away games at the ground, and see how much impact that has on the individual or the group to go and do that. We'll wait and see. So it is a difficult one. I honestly, I really wouldn't like to be sat in that City Matters group, because looking at some of the abuse Colin Savage gets, I don't know the guy from the 18-25-year-old group. I don't follow him, and he don't follow me, so I don't see his tweets. But I saw yesterday some having a right go at Colin Savage, which I think was a little unfair to a certain degree, because Colin seems like a straight-up guy, and has been following City for many, many years. And I think it was a little unfair, some of the treatment he gets. But let's face it, I know what Twitter's like. I've experienced what Twitter's like. So I know that many of the people just go, I'm pissed off and I'm blah, 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 blah. And suddenly when you receive that as an individual, as a person, you think, whoa, hold on a minute. Well, what's this all about? Now, I don't mean to say the other person on the other end really means what the tweet reads as. But when you read it as a person, as an individual, you read it and think, whoa, that's a bit harsh, And so you sometimes have to reply, or sometimes you ignore it. Well, I'm in the fortunate position that I just ignore it. If it's something like that, I just think I can't be bothered. I did that with the whole rabbing stuff. I'm just not interested. Keyboard warriors, don't even know who they are. I put my face out there. Them, they hide behind the bloody mobile phones and their laptops and things like that. So it's easy for people just to give abuse. But I thought it was pretty unfair, some of the comments that Colin Savage got yesterday. So it's a difficult job. I wouldn't like to do it, I'll be honest with you. If somebody said to me, oh, do you want to represent? I'd go, absolutely no chance. No way would I want to be involved in that, because I don't think you'll be able to please everyone all of the time, and that's the problem. So I can see the arguments. Don't get me wrong. I can see the arguments from both sides, but I just don't think there's any right solution to it. So I hope that answers your question in some shape or form. James Davis, Andy, search it up. They decided to put the word City 1-1 stand. 1-1 stand. I don't know what that means, mate. Do you think Otamendi is good enough for the squad? Absolutely. Of course I do. Those Spitfires were never found. They weren't found. Okay. I would have no problem if the general stayed. I'd have no problem at all. Hey, Andy, do you prefer Man City do pre-season tour in US or China? It's a difficult question, mate. You know, we are partly owned by the Chinese media, government to a certain degree. So I guess City have got obligations to go out there. I'll be honest with you, the game time is a lot better. If I'm being honest, I think the game time is better, certainly for me. I don't know whether the US would be better for everyone else. Probably would be if you kicked off late at night. So yeah, I don't have a real either way. Doesn't really make a difference. The tickets issue is brilliantly discussed in the Raw podcast episode 3. Yeah, it is. It is discussed in there as well. So well done for pointing that out, Roberto Blondie, because they do discuss this whole issue with regards to ticket issues. It's also discussed not only in episode 3, but is it episode 2 with the youth? I think the youth is the one where they discuss the allocation of tickets and away fans and how younger the 18 to 25-year-olds are viewed. Are you going to the game? Which game, Sweaty Pizza? Spitfire dig in 2012 was unsuccessful. Kundal in 2013 armed with sophisticated radar equipment search was also in vain. David Kundal, Spitfire recovery page favourite, keeps a legend alive. Is that his name, David Kundal? Thanks for that, Roberto Blondie. But it was somebody else, if I'm thinking rightly, because I was here in 2015 and 16. So it was being redone again in 2015 and 16. So maybe David Kundal is he an American guy? But that was happening at the time, the discussion of revisiting these sites with new equipment. Maybe it didn't happen. Sorry, slight typo. They put the word City on one of the stands. Search it up. I think it looks good. Okay. You're talking about signage on the in the stands or something, rather than a development point of view. Yeah, it's one with the youth episode 2. Yeah, it's the one I thought it was. It's the one where they discussed the season tickets and things. Are you going to the game on Wednesday? No, I'm work tomorrow. It's now 11 here in Myanmar. I'm working tomorrow, so no, I won't be. But by the time I get back to the hotel, I might be able to catch the start. I'll do a quick vlog before the game, halftime, and after the game tomorrow. Hey, Andy, I heard of you, Taylor Harwood, impressed thoughts. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Pep said it today, and this was one of his things when he talked about the fact that maybe they don't need to sign anybody else. Said it yesterday. He talked about it as well in his pre-match press conference, saying maybe we don't need to sign anyone else. Bring me back a Spitfire, please, Andy. You can squeeze it on as. I still think it'd be pretty big. I'll be honest with you, section. I still think it'd be a pretty big crate, because that's what apparently they were folded into. You had body sections and parts, wheels and wings folded up with tail section. So they were in a fairly, smallish box, wooden crate, call it. So it'll be interesting. But anyway, what I want to do before I go, because I'm going now, because I've tried 3 times tonight to talk about this. Listen, we talked about on earlier, stream went down because I'm in Myanmar, Wi-Fi is not that great. Go and check out my, if you haven't seen it, go and check out my toupee that I did under the air conditioning. Almada Thiago Armada, we spoke about him to death on the live vlogs. That's still ongoing. There's still not been done. Ray Parlour apparently claimed today that when questioned about the current Man City squad versus the Invincibles, he turned around and said the Invincibles were an amazing team, absolutely amazing, but ultimately said, I think this City team are on a different level. So that's pretty high praise from somebody who was around that squad at the time. How are you, Andy? How many videos have you done today? This is about my fourth. But this one is going to be finishing very shortly because I need to go to bed. But I've done 2, maybe 3 live vlogs trying to do it, but there was problems with Wi-Fi at the hotel, outside and all sorts of things. But I'm very well, Abhishek. Thank you for coming on anyway. Look on Twitter, there's an image of the new signage. Okay, I will do. I haven't had time today, James. I've been really busy, mate. I'll be honest with you. So, yeah, City, Ray Parlour intimates that, you know, the City squad are potentially better than the Invincibles, which I think they are on the whole. Don't forget tomorrow, Kitchi. We've got the game tomorrow. Kicks off 1 p.m. UK time. It is on media platforms. I think it's on Sky Sports. Phil Foden is back in training. Pep is really pleased that Foden is back, which is great news. Foden is also really sort of doing the Aymeric Laporte statement by saying, I've had a taste of it and I want to be as much as a regular as I can in this Man City squad. So that's great news. He's going to work as hard. He said he's going to work as hard as he's ever worked, especially coming into this season now that he's had a taste of it and that goal against Spurs and everything else. So City's stance on Leroy Sané, they're basically, and we've said this, I think, for a few weeks, even though we've mentioned the likes of Bayern and things, it's just City are just not willing to sell. I think Leroy Sané is potentially, unless something stupid comes in, I think Leroy Sané is basically resigned to the fact that he's either very happy to stay at City and sign a very, very good, lucrative contract, or he's going to be an unhappy player for the next year. And maybe we lose a lot of money on his transfer next season or January. But I think by the sounds of Pep's pre-match presser, it's basically saying he's not going anywhere. It's that simple. If Bayern wants him, they're going to have to make a ridiculous offer for us to even consider it. So I don't think there's going to be any swap deals. Mentioned the fact of Alaba yesterday, was somebody had reported. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Leroy Sané is going to stay. He's going to sign a new contract. That's good for all parties because it gives us an extra 3 years on his contract. So he'll probably sign an extended 3-year contract, which gives him 5 years at City, which increases his buyout clause. And I think he's honestly, truly happy, if I'm being honest. I think it's just been a whole negotiating tool between him and his new agent, or still using his ex-agent, which was his mother. I think he'll sign, if I'm being honest with you. And hopefully, fingers crossed, he gets his head right and he has a wonderful, wonderful season coming up for Man City. Any other comments? Any pythons lurking around the hotel? Not around here, mate. Roberto Blondie, is Myanmar in any way getting tourism going, Andy, because the way you describe the food and the prices? Oh my God, are you joking? Yeah, tourism is massive here. Really, really big. Yeah, huge. Obviously now, because in the very north of the country, it says the UK, if you go into the government website, when you go and look at travel and tourism and security and things, because we obviously have to do that with some of the places that we go to. It's still, yeah, it's perfectly fine to travel to somewhere like here. Some beautiful, absolutely stunning areas on the coast. I mean, some of the most amazing tropical beaches you'll ever see anywhere in the world. They are on the west coast, compared to where Yangon is down here. On the west coast up here. So let's imagine London to Liverpool or Blackpool. Some absolutely incredible, absolutely beautiful beaches, like the Bacardi ads of years gone by. But the further you go north, obviously near the border, there's obviously some trouble, and you're not advised to go up that far. But we're talking thousands of miles all the way up, or 1,000 miles, etc. So, but Yangon is the capital area. It's a beautiful city. If you like visiting the surrounding areas, you've got all sorts of tourists into the country, into the jungle, into areas that's very safe, because it's miles and miles away from the trouble. And because of the country, and because of the culture, and because of the religion and things like that, it's very, very safe. Everybody is so respectful. And I was walking towards the hotel this evening, and people were, as I was in the road, and I was going, no, you don't have to move for me, I'll move for you. And, they were moving out the way and things like that, because I was obviously white, person from another country here. So very, very respectful. So it's a lovely, lovely country, beautiful country to visit. And obviously the history that's there. If you want to come out here, definitely do it. Definitely. And it's honestly, you said about prices, it's cheap as anything. Absolutely peanuts. I think last time I was out here a few years ago, I was speaking to somebody, and I said to them, what's the average sort of daily rate of an average person? And they said they'd be lucky if they got $3 to $5 US dollars per day. $3 to $5 US dollars. It's about what, £2.70 to £3.50, £4 per day. That shows you. That shows you the way it is out here, and yet people are still smiling, very respectful. I mean, it's a lovely, lovely, lovely place. So it's unusual. All you need to do is apply for a visa, and it costs $50 US dollars on entry to pay for your visa when you arrive. So you do it online, pay it when you arrive, and yeah. I mean, taxi. I think a taxi. I'm going to go into the city centre on Thursday because I've got a day off, which is about 45 minutes away, and it'll cost around about £8. £8 for a 45-minute taxi journey. It's like going from, I don't know, my house to the airport would cost me about 55, 60 quid. It's costing £8 one way. So come out, enjoy it. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And I've seen loads of tourists out here, loads and loads and loads of tourists. It's not like it's one of those where nobody ever comes. I've seen loads of tourists. Just been in a lift chatting to two US guys. They look like special forces guys, if I'm being honest with you. Proper southern Texas, and all buff and skinheads and beards. And so I don't know what they're doing out here, but yeah, they looked, and they were carrying like rucksacks, and so maybe they weren't, maybe they're just travellers. We'll see. Anything else? Do you speak the language yet? You joking? Bit dark there, and there's not a lot I can do, mate. There's nothing I can do because I'm in my room now doing this, so it's one of those. But it's a pretty chill people, very, very. Who will be our next captain? Well, KDB, I think, potentially is going to be the captain for this season, but I think KDB in the future. What if you're getting a taxi and you don't know what you're saying? Well, they have, instead of Uber, they have something called Grab. It's the same thing. And plus, if you go to reception and just say, I want a taxi to go into the centre where the shopping is and things like that, they book it for you. They all speak English. Any transfer updates? No, nothing, mate. Not transfer-wise, nothing going on today. They do sound like SF. They did look like them, I'll be honest with you. And I've trained sort of the UK SF guys for certain things. And normally you don't know what they look like, but these guys look like your atypical, if you see in the movies, your SF guys. They were like pretty buff, big beards, short hair. Well, one of them didn't have, but the other one, big beards and glasses on the forehead, tight, carrying like big rucksacks. So but maybe they're not. Maybe just backpacking. Maybe they're boyfriends. I don't. Who knows? Men in Black, Andy. They could have been. What's SF? Special Forces, mate. Anyway, moving on. Danny Mills versus Gareth Bale. Wow, he gets around, doesn't he, Danny Mills? I mean, Jesus Christ. Any vaccines? No. Zika virus has come up, but it's not travelled here. It's Thailand-based. It's not reached here yet, and they believe that the way it's travelling, it's going to go. It's going to go west across to Africa rather than coming south. But there is always the possibility. But no, there's no vaccines required whatsoever when I've come out here. They're on a secret mission. Yeah. Did you see any troops from the Burmese army in the streets? Isn't Myanmar a country run by the army? Not anymore, Norman. I did when I first came out here 4 years ago. It was run by the military junta. So even the contract that I signed was by the government military. It was a signature by the military because the military run the government. They run everything. Yeah, everything was very militarized when I was here. There was just military everywhere. But now, no, it's obviously with the transition. It actually happened. I was here in the end of March and the beginning of April. I think 3 years ago, there was the transition into the female now premier prime minister, president of Myanmar was released, and so there's more democracy now, but there's still sort of things with ex-military. Everything was general, this, that, and the other, ran every department of the government, but no longer. And it's a good thing for the people to a certain degree because it opens up avenues for investment from the West and things like that. So when I came here the first time, it was very difficult, even using sort of US dollars. You could bring them, but most people were like, no, I want this, and trying to exchange money. Now you can, in the hotel here, I've just paid for my dinner rather than shove it on my room and put it on my credit cards. I don't like using my credit cards when I'm overseas. I'd rather pay cash. Just paid it in US dollars. So really simple, very easy. It's a cash machine right outside, so I got 50,000 out of local currency last night, so that I've got some local currency, and I can go on Thursday and do a bit of exploring around the city again. Have you been to Vietnam? I haven't, mate. Actually, I haven't been to Vietnam. It's somewhere I'd love to go. I'd really love to go. But no, I haven't been to Vietnam. I'll be honest with you. Andy's the only celebrity. I don't think I'm a celebrity here. I'm probably people looking at me like that white guy over there. Oops. People now coming on saying they don't want to sign Messi from the previous vlog. What's up, J Viva? Hope's all well. Yeah, very good. Bring us back Sticky Rocks and Bettel. What's that? Bettel. Boris Johnson is Prime Minister. What? Really? Really? What? That's actually happened? Wow. Right. So, as I was saying, Danny Mills versus Bale, he had this thing today about where he was on 80k a week at City and they tried to get rid of him, and he basically turned around and went, I'm sitting here, which you can understand, if you're on that much money, but trying to compare, the whole bringing in the £1 million a week versus the Danny Mills, who has enough to say as he is at the best of times. He's not a bit of a knob jockey. Oh, Bettel, what you chew? Okay. I apologise. Yeah. I didn't realise it was called Bettel. I thought it was called something else. Not Bettel. And I don't think they'll have it in Myanmar. They might have it in Thailand and places like that. I'm not sure. Do they have it here? Sends you a bit loopy, doesn't it? It's normally, is it Bettel? They're not. Is it Bettel in places like Ethiopia and places like that have that type of thing? I'm sure it makes you stay up longer. It's a bit like an amphetamine, an MDMA based sort of amphetamine. Lastly, Sterling, Raheem Sterling was revealed when he plays FIFA, he likes to play as Liverpool and PSG. Wow. Not Manchester City. So there you go. All the Liverpool fans and PSG fans, certain Liverpool fans, can come on and have a good laugh at that one. So Raheem, sort out your Twitter manager. You don't want to be putting things like that out, certainly on Twitter, because what happens? You end up, getting a right roasting on social media. So sell him. He probably don't like looking at himself. Maybe not. I mean, I'm only joking, but these type of things sort of open up, as we know, opens up for everyone to start. Blah 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 blah. Raheem out. Well, listen, guys, I've done another 45 minutes. So listen, I'm going to go. Beto Quid, the package of Beto leaf containing areca nut, slate lime, and raw and cured tobacco. I must admit, it's not one I know, mate. I'll be honest with you. I've certainly not seen anybody here while I've been in Myanmar having that type of stuff. I thought that type of stuff was mainly used when they chew it and spit it out as more of a African thing, sort of Somali and places like that. But maybe it is. Have you seen any red stains on the ground? I haven't. I've seen nothing. No, I'm not seeing anybody like that. They're just a very nice, peaceful people. They're not. It's not how you would imagine it to be. Everybody is just very, very nice. Really, really nice. Even though you are probably the only white person walking in a mile or 2 miles of any other, and it's like walking down the street in Addis Ababa, and people looking at you like that because they haven't seen a white person in God knows how long. It's a bit like that. But if you smile at them, they all are very, very courteous. So anyway, listen, Sandy from Man City Fan TV. I'm sorry, I'm doing this on my laptop, this stream. I did 2 of the streams before. I'll try again tomorrow. I am going to try and do the streams before I'll be home, hopefully, back to the hotel tomorrow night before the game, so I can do a pre-match. I'll do a half-time and I'll do a full-time live vlog. And fingers crossed, had a good run tonight. Had a great run last night. Had a good run tonight. Went off and I started again. And had another good run and it went off again. So there's not much I can do about it. I'm sort of beholden to Myanmar Wi-Fi. Betel quids are sold at every street corner in Myanmar, and red streams of juice caused by the sludge of betel juice on the roadside and thoroughfares and most visuals. I don't know where you've read that from, mate, but I've never seen anybody chewing anything and spitting anything out. I really haven't, honestly. I swear to God. I'll tell you what, I'll ask tomorrow about betel quids. I'll try and find some. Try some. Who knows? But I've not seen anybody do it. I'll be honest with you. But I'll ask around. I'll ask the guys tomorrow, and I'll see whether it's true, and if so, what does it do to you? But like I said, Thursday I'm going into the city. Maybe I'll see it in the city, but I'm certainly haven't seen anything like that while I've been here where I am. Have a good one. Take care, Ocean Rage. Thanks, Andy. You're a star, mate. Graceful. Thank you, Rubtop Landy. We'll find out when the Area 51. You go, section. I only had to go to watch the USAF gun down. Loads of idiots. I read it on Blue Hearts World Travel. Well, if you read it on there, then obviously you know that he tells the truth. He wins the quizzes. He's just the most intelligent person we've ever met. Blondie, you've been watching too many films. No, it's deadly stuff. Stick to the weed, Andy. Mate. Hey, life is life, and we all have to try things once in our lifetimes. But I must admit, I've never seen any of this red stuff. I'll be honest with you. But anyway, take care, guys. Thank you for tuning back in. I know it's late for me, but I know after all the problems with the Wi-Fi. But thank you. Just a quick roundup tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to bed. I'm going to go and have a cold shower I'm still boiling hot. I'll be back tomorrow when we'll look at the game in general, like we do. Have a good time. Yes, I will do. Thank you, Anuj. And yeah, take care. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy that weather. At least it's dry, unlike here, where it's absolutely chucking it down again. So adios, Joseph Beattie. Thank you, mate. Take care. Sandy from Man City Fan TV. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up. And we'll be back tomorrow. Take care.